let's do this. Quick shout out to Smoke. Sorry, I do not remember your PSN handle, but I know on the YouTube you are Smoke FC. So thanks for this idea. He was basically he was asking me. He hasn't played in a while, so now he is playing, right? So, what are the big things to know if you haven't played since Combat Pack 1 or maybe Aftermath, right? The biggest thing, in my opinion, is knowing that every single character has an armor breaker right now. You just gotta go to the moves list. It could be a single move like Rambo, I think, is forward 4. Yep, armor break. Cetrion, I believe, is the... So this is the other thing you gotta know. Everybody has an armor break, not always standard though. So for example, with Cetrion, let's go and switch player real quick. Alright. I believe Cetrion's is her Deadly Winds, yeah. Which you have to choose that, right? So not every single person has a armor breaker by default. Some of them are special moves. I think Noob Sabbath, you have to select it. Bunch of other examples. And some of them are standard. Some of them are great. Like this one. Because first off, I'm safe on doing it. Secondly, it's also just part of a combo, right? If I want to keep it going. Some of them really suck. Let me think. Who's got an armor breaker that's just trash? Scorpion's is pretty trash. Mind you, it's his flip kick, the overhead. I think it's back circle. But the reason I say it's trash, they moved it, they upped it. It's a lot quicker in frames. They dropped it down by 2 frames. I think it's 6 frames now. It used to be 7, or no, it used to be 8, I think. But it's still really hard to time. Plus, it doesn't carry, it doesn't extend the combo, and it doesn't do a crushing blow. So that leads into number 2. Not only does everybody have an armor breaker, if, let me go back to Big Boy over here, and let's put on easy crushing blows. So if that particular move is associated with a crushing blow, but you use it to break armor, you know what? I just realized I don't feel like going through the recording motion. I need to have Cetrion spin out and with armor and everything, and I don't feel like doing that. But if you use it to break armor, it automatically triggers that crushing blow. So, in other words, you know, somebody's going for, I don't know, like an armored wake up, and then you just drop that, it's going to crush and blow it. So that's pretty cool. But that's also why some are stronger than others. Like Rambo has a crushing blow associated with his armor breaker. Cetrion doesn't. She can use that tornado and it will break the armor, but there's no crushing blow with it. Plus you don't extend combos with it. So it's kind of useless. The other thing, going on a little side rant here, the other thing I don't like about using it, the whole point of that tornado is essentially, right, the whole point of it was to keep you safe on that chain. I didn't turn frame data on, did I? My bad. So the whole point was to keep you safe on that chain, -4. You lose your turn, but you're still safe, right? And if you meter burn it, I'm now +1. But it's kind of pointless to have that plus that move, because if I meter burn it, -4 plus pushback. So maybe it is a little bit more beneficial. Pushback -5, pushback -4, but I don't have to use a meter for this. So select your moves wisely. So, number 1, everybody has got an armor breaker. Number 2, some of those armor breakers are trash. Some of them are excellent. Some of them are tied to crushing blows on activation. Number 3, frame data. A lot of the frame data has been changed. I can't think of anything with Cetrion off the top of my head. Her frame data is pretty much the same. There is one adjustment. Some moves like that. So I can cancel that now. That wasn't an option before, I believe, Aftermath. It might have been one of the patches in between. So there are a lot of characters have that cancel ability now, so you have to watch out for that. Because it's really tricky, because if you look at it, -4. So that turns something that is -15 completely punishable into something that's -4. Somewhat safe. At least, actually it is safe, right? Because nobody has a +4 frame move. But you do lose your turn. So, that's good. And the last one, the frame data, I'm going to give a shout out to True Underdog Gaming. I'll link his stuff in the comments. He does a good job at breaking down the frame data. So Combat Cast is good because they talk about, they kind of preview the moves and what they're good for. Is it a high, low, overhead, mix up? Okay. True Underdog is a little bit better because he actually, exactly what I'm doing, he puts on the frame data and he looks at it. Okay, so that's -4, start at 15. That's slow. That's a slow mid. That's a high, 8 -1, -2. So this is safe, right? But they can underduck it. I'm sorry, underduck it. They can duck it. That's probably Cetrion's fastest move, I think. 9, 10, 9. Yeah. Oh, that was +3. So you can bully somebody with that. So that's +3. Did I say that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I failed math a lot, but I get the concept of it. Anyway, last one is Custom and Combat League. So that dropped with the Combat Pack 2 expansion. You can now have custom variations in Combat League. And it's interesting because there are certain moves that are completely banned. So for example, Sub-Zero's ground ice. You can have a custom-made Sub-Zero, but that variation that you have using Combat League can't have ground ice because it's just too OP. There are a bunch of other examples I can't think of right now. It's basically like if you do any kind of Pokemon Draft League and there is a list of like non-playables because they're just too OP. Same thing. So just keep that in mind. If you have a custom variation and you're not seeing it in Combat League, it's probably because that custom variation has a move that is banned from Combat League. So that's it. Under 10 minutes. I did it with bad math. Number one, everybody got an armor breaker. Know what that armor breaker is. If it's a special move and you're fighting Cetrion, again, this is her armor breaker. If you're fighting a Cetrion and you see those moves and they don't have this tornado on it, Deadly Winds is called, then you don't have to worry about spinning out of combos because she don't have an armor breaker. But if you see it, then it kind of plays the meta. You got to think like, okay, she's got the armor breaker. I got to watch what I do. And of course, know your own character's armor breaker. Does it have a crushing blow? Some of them continue the combo. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Actually, Scorpions, if you can time it right, I think it bounces and you can continue the combo. So number one, armor breaker. Know the armor breaker. Number two, frame data. Some of it is clear. I mean, honestly, if you didn't know frame data before, then it's not that big of a deal. But if you knew frame data back then, and now you come back to play it, it's changed a lot, especially for like Noob Savitt, Kotal Khan, Shao Kahn. Cetrion got some buffs. Scorpion got nerfed, like his teleport. So aside from frame data, his teleport's now a high, not a mid, so you can just duck it. Things like that. Last one, when you play Combat League, if you play Combat League, be aware, you can now use custom variations. And that's it. So, again, True Underdog Gaming, I'll give you a shout out to like all up to 2 viewers. Anything else? Good fight, good night. I'm gonna go use some Rambos in Combat League now. Good fight, good night.